Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to welcome you all to the Let's Move Outside announcement in collaboration with the Department of Interior, Parks and Recs, and the YMCA. I'm excited for the amazing partnership that will benefit youth and teens in Columbus, Ohio. As for me, I played t-ball, baseball, football, basketball, and Quidditch outside. I enjoyed outdoor activities even before I could go outside by myself. I'm a member of the Hilltop YMCA, where I participate in basketball, Leaders Club, Teen Club, Summer Camp, as well as youth and government. Because of my physical activities and healthy eating, the doctor says I'm in great health. I also have made lifelong friends and have many great memories. Hope more kids can have the same kinds of positive experiences that I've had. I feel it's important for kids to go outside because spending most of the time inside or on electronic devices are not beneficial to the health. It is important for kids to revitalize the community. Revitalizing the community not only brings communities together, but it also helps the environment. We have one Earth, and it is vital to keep it clean and safe for the generations to come. Now I'd like to introduce Mr. David Yeho, Senior Advisor to the Secretary of the United States Department of the Interior.
Thanks, James. Really appreciate that. And thank you, Mayor Ginther, for inviting us and hosting us in your beautiful city. It's really an honor to be here today on behalf of our First Lady, Michelle Obama, and the Secretary of Interior, Sally Jewell. These two women have joined forces because they care very, very deeply about the health of our children and the health of the planet. And so what they've done is launched a national initiative called Let's Move Outside, with the goal of getting millions of kids across the country to play, learn, serve, and work in the great outdoors. So in order to reach millions of kids, we've had to create some new programs as well as invest more in some existing efforts. Examples would be one of the new programs that we launched, the president actually launched it last year, called Every Kid in a Park. And all fourth graders across the country and their families receive a free pass to all fee collecting federal lands across the country for themselves and their families for a year. And then on the other spectrum, where we're investing more, is bringing back the Civilian Conservation Corps for the 21st century. And what this does is it creates employment opportunities for young adults and returning veterans working on and caring for our public lands. Now, we couldn't do this without strong partnerships. You know, the Department of Interior is all in, from the National Park Service, who we have here today, as well as the Fish and Wildlife Service, Bureau of Indian Affairs, and Bureau of Land Management. All of the bureaus and teams within the Department of Interior are fully committed to this, but we also know we can't do this alone. So the first partner that we recruited and got to join us in creating this national movement is the YMCA of the USA. The Ys, there are 2,700 Ys in the United States across the country. And the YMCA of Greater Ohio is one of those stellar Ys, led by Steve, who has actually had, over 20 years as a CEO of a Y, but a 27-year career with the YMCA movement. So you're in really, really good hands, and one of the reasons we are really thrilled to be here. And then the other partner that we got on early on is American Express, because in addition to having nonprofit partners, we needed the private sector to step up and join us. And so American Express is a leader in volunteerism, but also caring for historic sites and preserving our culture and history. They donated $5 million to this movement. And part of the reason they did that is because they really did see the ability to have a national vision through local activation. And that local activation is part of what makes Let's Move Outside special. Is we're selecting 50 cities across the country to invest in, to focus on, grow collaboration, and ultimately increase the time and participation in outdoor programs. So I'm really thrilled to be here today to announce that Secretary Jewell has selected Columbus as a prioritized city. So let's move outside Columbus. We often get asked, what are the criteria in selecting these cities? And I don't want to bore you because most people did not come here to listen to me. So I will tell you one of the most important criteria is strong local leadership. And so one of the reasons Columbus was selected is because your mayor is an advocate for youth, a champion for parks and open spaces, and just really wants to make Columbus a great place for everyone to play, live, serve, and work. So with that, I will turn it over to your mayor, Andrew Ginther.
Well, David, is this the first time you've been to Columbus?
It is. Thank you for having me.
Well, you're welcome back anytime you or Secretary Jewell want to bring resources to the great people of Columbus. And we appreciate you and the Secretary's commitment and vision to Columbus and to young people throughout the country. So, good afternoon. I am honored to be with you here today and excited about what Let's Move Outside can do for us as a community. Columbus is very much suited to participate in this initiative, given that, and I'm a little biased, but I think we have the best parks in all of America, and we have some of the greatest staff in all of America. But we have 353 park properties covering 8,200 acres of parkland with 120 miles of Central Ohio Greenway trails, 3 reservoirs, and 14 natural preserves. It doesn't matter which neighborhood you live in. Natural areas don't have to be expansive to add value to the lives of our children. This patch of Greenway, where we're standing right now, is an oasis for wildlife and for our children to explore nature within their own neighborhood. We were here at the Y for our family reunions during the inauguration in January. It was a little colder then, but it just gives you a sense of all the great resources right here in this neighborhood, that when we work together, we protect them and give access to our young people what a great opportunity is for them. So this park is an example of the close relationship the city has with the Columbus City School District and the YMCA, with each entity owning adjoining properties, allowing children to benefit from the programs and services offered by each institution. Westmore Park is slated for improvements to begin next year. The designs are already drafted with added trees and amenities to make this small park more beneficial to residents. Thank you to the Department of Public Utilities, the Department of Recreation and Parks for partnering to lead these children in an educational activity, something they do every day when they come out to this area. Columbus relies on volunteers to help us care for these lands. They help remove litter, remove invasive species, and restore the ecosystem. They plant trees, they track and study changes in the environment in partnership with our educational institutions. Columbus is committed to getting children outdoors, active and connected to nature, inspiring the next generation of outdoor stewards. We don't have children up here. We have the future outdoor stewards of this community standing up here with us today, because we know that children first need to experience nature to develop an appreciation and a respect and the desire to protect and restore our natural spaces. And I do have to acknowledge, the President of the United States ain't bad, but the First Lady of the United States, to have her commitment, her vision, and in partnership with Secretary Jewell and the department, we wouldn't be here today if it weren't for First Lady Obama. So let's give her a round of applause and acknowledgement. And now I have the distinct honor of introducing a great friend to this community and someone who has hit the ground running with a great dynamic team. Please welcome Steve Ives of the Y.
I may not be a newcomer to the Y, but I'm definitely still a newcomer to this community. And I want to share that my wife and I, our first winter in this community, committed to doing the winter hike series at the Metro Parks. And we have our little walking stick. Thank you, Metro Parks. You gave us the motivation. But what I was so blown away by through that experiences and the other experiences I've had here is we truly truly do, have extraordinary outdoor spaces to operate out of and to run programs to engage kids and families in. So thank you for that gift that I get to come now play with. As a Y person, I was aware of this initiative happening, and I was so thrilled when I heard that our community had been selected. And I was so thrilled that we had the kind of caliber of leadership and Mayor Ginther and others that intrigued the selection committee and allowed them to select us. I'll leave you just with a couple of perspectives on this, and that's that, there's a book called The Last Child in the Woods. Some of you may have read it. But it talks about this issue in America and in our communities, which is called a nature deficit. There's evidence and science behind this that says that kids these days are growing up without the experience of that connection to the earth that we live on, to nature, and to community, and that actually has detrimental psychosocial impacts as well as physiological impacts on children. And so I've been a huge proponent my whole career to getting kids active in the outdoors. I spent weeks hiking with kids on the Appalachian Trail. Just had a chance to visit my nephew who's hiking the Appalachian Trail today from Georgia on his way to Maine, to see the glint in his eye as he told the stories of his experience hiking on that trail. Something I would wish for every one of these young people to get to experience that and have that opportunity. So we're going to work awfully hard with our partners in the community to play our role in facilitating, convening other people to help us get kids actively involved, not just in playing in the outdoors, but in owning it, in taking active part in making sure that the land that we've been blessed with, the gifts that we've been given as a community and as a society are so well taken care of. So thank you for picking us. Thank you for allowing the Y to play a role in all of this. We promise to do our best, and I know that our partners in the community will be right there with us to help us make sure that at the end of all of this, many more kids are connected with the outdoors, our parks are taken care of, and the future stewards are taught how to be true stewards of the land that we're so blessed to have here in Columbus, but also in the United States of America. So thank you all for coming out today. I'm going to turn it back over to James to wrap us up. Thank you.
This concludes the press conference. Now I'd like you to join me and my speakers and the kids in learning about the local aquatic life and erosion.
Probably just goes into the creek, and that's how.
I'm almost finished.
Are you? All right. So wait, where are we? That's amount of litter. Do you guys see a lot of litter?
No, not for real.
Well, look, keep looking. I'm seeing some. You don't want to say none, right?
I don't see a lot. A little bit.
Right here, that's called a pool. And over here,
Very, very shallow.
I'm you're used to. And over here on the left with the stones, that's called a riffle. And actually, it's good to have both.
Another muzzle right there. You guys look on the bottom of the rock already?
That's a muzzle?
Yeah.
Got him.
Oh!
Just don't hurt him.
I thought it was something else. Oh! Oh, that's stuff in my eye!
Let's look on the bottom of the rock here and see if there's anything
Oh,
here.
was it peeing?